a little bit faster across the way, and you can see that Tixie is at least trying to get a bit of information.
You do see it as a net positive, but one thing that I think
Game 2 guys, mga bago. Game 2. Like insert natin yung stream guys, like insert, kalat natin.
3 man instead of a 4 man, if you are getting gate kept, that's going to be a lot, and I mean a lot harder for them to execute. So just something to keep in the back of our minds. Though, one thing that I love, and I mentioned it, right, when you talked about the fight of potentially happening between Na'Vi and Valdez in Paradise Resort.
Andre, thanks for follow.
Because they're so far away from each other inside that compound, or Valdez or A1 could leave, and it seemed like A1 were the one to leave first. And it's not a game of chicken and they were scared first. It's a smart play. You do not want to take early fights on Sanhok. They avoided it, and now they're in a relatively good spot that's in the circle. So I love that. I think that's great respect going the way of A1.
Mahirap kasi mag-rotate sa Sanhok eh. Pag inaalat ko yung song dito, yari
Geek Fight. So let's take a bit of a step back and have a look where other teams are. DRS have the eastern side just above Camp Bravo all to themselves. Mong Nai is open. DS Gaming dropped in Cow and Tabmock region. They're on the northern side of the map, looking quite healthy in terms of position. Zeus once again in the center, but they have a bit of a 2-1-1 split just down south of Paradise Resort. It's a great spot to be, but I also worry that there's going to be a lot of teams around them based on this phase 1, and they might get clustered up and really picked off one by one, depending on how responsive they are to any kind of shots heading in their direction. BTR dropped in Painan. That's all good in the hood. They dropped out of there. They moved forward and are on towards the outside of the boot camp area. So good, Max.
So far, so good indeed.
Kung UTG yan, sasabihin, kanseran na naman.
Just like last game, they zone teams away, and that's great. And I think especially they know that they can go for widespread, because this is a location in which, when you are playing Southern Paradise Resort, it's not great terrain to play from. And because of that, a lot of teams try to avoid it. So if you want to try and
go for wider spread while remaining undetected,
that would be a position I would go for. Just hide in open sight, and you know the team cannot drop there, you do your research, then you should be completely fine. And I think that is some good potential research being made by Zeus. But as you said, the circle is centering up on their position. We'll see where phase 2 goes. If it does go their way, they need to try and be able to fight accordingly and reposition.
Gusto kong panoorin yung galaw eh.
Repositioning.
Di na ko interesado eh. Kasi di ba ilan yung bago sa kanila? Kasi liquid lang yata bago dyan.
Unaware of BTR currently pushing in their overall vicinity.
Matagal na ba si Ryzen sa
You highlighted Blacklist at the start of the game and how good they are rotating.
Naku, pinagtatabi na naman. Ito na.
I'm a little bit worried that you've Classic cursed them, or Maxman cursed them, should I say?
Tinatagdahan na talaga.
But so far, they have a fantastic position on Boot Camp. It overlooks Boot Camp Hill, should I say. It overlooks Boot Camp. It gives information towards their BTR. Now, one thing that might worry me about them is that even though they did get a good 9 kills in the last game, maybe not being aggressive early in the game might come to bite them in the butt because of how Sanhok works. But I'm excited to see how Blacklist play this game coming into game 2, game 3 as IA.
Susul din tayo maririnig dyan makiyan.
Not so much to
tayo makakapagsusul, nanonood lang tayo.
Forward on his own, but he has to wait. Because without the information and without the support of his team, they could once again get picked off one by one in this game 2.
I love that Abali being spread away from the rest of his team currently is waiting with a Thompson, 50 bullets, kind of the best clutch weapon to have if they are relatively low HP, because the damage per bullet ratio is not as strong as, for example, an M4 and AKM, so it will make it a little bit harder. But yeah, it's all the
Boy,
so it is weapon is good if you want to try and keep teams away.
Dikit ka sa kalaban dyan, may isang kalaban dyan.
They don't actually close the gap
yung area nila.
Engaged, then the weapon tends to be a little bit harder to play around in those clutch situations. The Reject also going a little bit wider, looking for more information. Not gonna lie, for Sanhok game, this is very slow. You could already expect to by now, but that goes to show Imperium how much research has been done. There's no team stepping on each other's toes and just showing a lot of respect to each other, which we love to see. But the more teams survive now, the more hectic it's going to get later on.
It's going to build up. That traffic is going to build up, right? And it's going to get to the point where something's just going to
roller coaster,
and that dam is going to be broken. Yeah, the roller coaster play where we're getting at the top, looking down at the bottom. It's like, oh, here we go. Well, phase 2 is about to pop up, and what direction is this roller coaster going to go? It's going to go to the west, which is low-key helpful for Geek Fam, but I would actually argue not helpful because now other teams are going to be looking in their direction on the Northwest Island, right? They might not be on the Northwest Island, but they're going to be looking in their direction. Will any team commit going over there from the mainland, or will it just create more of a claustrophobic position for multiple teams?
Ito pinakita ko. Paano napatay yung isa?
The first kill for i8
Slow mo pa, ano?
And that's what we said, right? The Thompson in a proper 1v1 versus an AKM. The AKM's
going to
thank
you so follow.
That's exactly what happened for them. So Abiley's going to be gone, losing a little bit more information for them. But talking back on that circle on phase 2, what we saw when it popped, this is actually a very hard shift, not in terms of how the teams are positioned, because a lot of them are currently in there, except for the likes of maybe DRS and even NASA Esports and even Myth that are really delaying their rotation.
Go Blackie, Rafael.
But there is a world where we could have a Northwestern Island finish. Of course, the odds of that happening are extremely slim, but if it does happen, we're going to see one of the most hectic games on the Sanok.
Tumapaus talaga ng mga team.
Yourself too.
Isang gabi na puwet ako kakahanap ng Blackie na. Hindi yung Blackie na yun.
And Na'Vi actually started crossing over. And now they're fully committing back to the Northwestern Island. They're like, you know what? There's a chance. We're going to stick there as long as we possibly can to just remain alive for the longest period of time.
And it's also the kind of circle where you can't really commit to the coastal line of the mainland, right? Because there's just as easy of a chance that you could get absolutely violated by Na'Vi on the Northwest Island. So there's really not that much to play around for these teams inside
Balita ko, mini 14 min daw yung mga BTR na yun eh. Mini 14 min daw yung mga yun eh. Oy, nagdikit na! Ito na!
As one player is knocked down, Bosom. Godless is low on health. IC's doing a wonderful job.
Baka po, yari si IC dito.
Double team.
And which one's going to win, IMP or two players of i8? Seem like the two
Rager nila, laging bagsak agad ah.
And more crypto onto the front lane with Blade. Trying to push it, even more of a toll, but yeah, you get so much damage onto Zola and also two knocks. You want to try and wrap this one.
Ang lakas ng bato.
They're scared of potentially getting third party, so they don't want to be overzealous. They don't want to
overstep.
They find a shot, Rebus gets it done, and now Zeus out of the lobby in 16th place. Now 15 teams yet remain, but Valdez in the distance could try and capitalize on that chance, so i8's got to be very careful of what their next move is going to be.
That's why I was kind of saying push it, because you've made noise. Much higher chance that there's going to be a third party.
Third party na,
Reject. I don't know if it's close enough that they can really capitalize in terms of getting a squad up, but maybe picking up a kill.
Yoshitaro, Pochi, Hana, shout out to you.
The spread they have is gigantic.
Thank you for tuning in.
Blade's going to dip down, crawl away, and he should be able to get revived. But I got to say, very impressed with i8 in that fight, right? They responded quickly off the back of a knock coming through, and they're back to their kind of ways in which they're expected to play, which is aggressive, forward-thinking, and no fear, just fight.
It's kind of mentality we're hoping to see coming out from i8, and hopefully this is not the only time we'll see that kind of mentality come on through. Though, things are moving forward a little bit quicker. Geek Fam, they were able to avoid the entirety of Na'Vi. They're still going to remain into Heart In, so that's also a good spot if the Heart Shift continuously goes over to the west. So the odds of that happening are, again, very slim, as we said, but things could get pretty interesting.
Palapit na naman ng Blacklist yung BTR, oh. Palapit na naman. Ay, pwedeng madali ng Blacklist yung mga Mets dyan. Pwede yan. Pero ipit na Blacklist dito, tol. Ay, gogo, ito na nga ba sinasabi ko? Patay tayo dyan.
Ready to go, an A1 thing. Maybe
Ipit na sila dyan.
Because Valdez got complete.
Ang daming pinasasagasaan nila. Yung sinasabi ko, dito pag saan kayo nawala sa zone, sakil na lang kayo babawi.
Think for the teams down south, because here's the thing for now.
Tingnan natin.
Not so much Blacklist.
Uy, grabe oh.
What they can do is they can shift through on that southeastern side of the circle, which is less likely to be contested.
Benta yung zone, tol. Benta.
So you gotta recognize the availability of an open position coming into the edge of the circle. A1 are creeping forward. They're fighting up against DS right here, right now.
Lalabas ba yung yes.
Actually, got to be careful though. The windows from what I've seen by Elon Musk are not all that powerful. Okay, they do break pretty easily, so you've got to be careful. They will not withstand bullets. The A1 now going to go for the engage. Already 2 players down as they try to get closer to the compound held down by the South Korean team of DS Gaming. Sinister trying his best to build a lot of breathing space for his troop players. One gets actually taken down and breathes to his death. And the nade actually nade's Dante. Okay, man, he's gonna come for revenge next game. Sinister, that was not very cash money of you.
I'm trying to think of a Star Wars pun with that, but I've never watched a Star Wars film, so I can't make a pun. But that unfortunately leaves A1 down to two players. And look, it's low-key A1 doing A1
DS.
things, right? They're a team that like to be
A1.
aggressive, that like to fight, that are very kill-heavy. They don't really tend to survive into the
Ayan na.
top 3.
Ay, sabi ko na nga ba, madadali ng Blacklist yung mga mid na yan eh. Diyan sila makakapagkuha ng maraming heal. Ayan o, Shami yung isa. Shami yung presidentong isa. Ang tagal nagbabad sa labas ng mga mid na yan eh. Dalawang baryo yata, dalawang barangay ang nilutan yan. Napipredict ko na yan eh, alam ko yan eh. Yan, nadali ni tayo na si Broly.
Hosem and also Rio still going to be up and ready to go.
May sayan pang kalaban ah.
Really is the anywhere else to go. If you want to try and wrap around, this is phase 3, about to go into phase 4 blue zone. The tick damage is ranking up pretty heavily.
It is.
And because they've been in the blue zone for the longest time, do they have enough meds to survive a phase 4? A phase 5 blue zone? Yeah, okay, he's got 35
4%.
maybe. Maybe.
But here's the thing though. Here's the thing for Blacklist. I think
Hindi sila nag-commit masyado, no?
Because I think they're at the point in the game, and I know it's only phase 3, but you're at the point in the game where
makakahinga-hinga pa yung mga mid. Iniwan sila eh. Iniwan sila eh.
You're actually better off gatekeeping and kind of going for kills rather than some kind of position in a circle. I don't know if it's gonna work out for Blacklist, but I get the idea behind it.
Credit ko sa Blacklist.
Able to push it over. We said
parang isa lang nakuha nila, no?
Make this a lot hard, and it seems like they are indeed struggling versus Xavier. They're just holding on the angle so far around what you call the black hole of Sanok Imperium, and they got some good little oversights, especially with where Frankie currently is. I would even say it's a super position. All you One Piece fans out there, hope you got that one. Now moving forward, this is a circle that's great for A1. Really happy, Chappy, that about the fact that they did move away from Paradise, but now there's a lot of attention coming their way. Can A1 actually defend that spot now in the future? That's what we're hoping to see soon.
Well, I have a feeling that we're going to lose 3 or 4 teams. Even
for sure.
Even by the time anybody actually pushes in onto A1's compound, we have 40 teams, 48 players. Luxy, he gets the first knock onto Lapis. Good start for BTR.
Sluxy. It's like the mix. Zuxy and Luxy in one is the duo. That's the name. That's what we're gonna go for. You mix the name. That's gonna be the same for Zuxy and Luxy.
Layo pa tatahakin ng block. Oo, layo to.
Anyways, pushing on forward. You also
yan, medyo kumaliwa yung zone.
They're aware. They hear the gunshots. They're like,
BTR lang naman nasasagasaan nila. BTR lang.
Maybe be the next team to gatekeep BTR or reject whatever team actually come out on top of this fight. Lap is going to be taken down, see the smoke, and actually able to follow that spray. So well done. But at the end, he does get retaliated upon by Duello.
Bakit yung spectate nila? Walang bug. Accurate na accurate yung kill feed. Saka yung mga pangalan ng player, kita kahit malayo. Bakit yung sa atin? Wala na. Sinira na ng tuluyan.
Rise is staying in that compound. A little bit of an anchor point on the edge of the circle. But why was Liquid so slow to join?
Pinalo siya ng UMP dun.
Great pick for Reject. They're turning it around.
Suksili
Duello
yung UMP lang.
looking to be joining up as well. Liquid is back.
Suksili yung Luxy yung bagsak na. Wala na. Dali na naman yung dalawa. Ay, so minanak na si Blacklist.
They have the edge of the circle, but just slightly poor timing.
Yeah, very unfortunate run of event for them. They just get themselves up one by one, and now the high ground is going back in favor of Reject. So BTR's got to be careful how they play that one, but at least they are having the fight come their way, so they're somewhat dictating the pacing of this fight. As Liquid, from the shack, goes for the spray. It's really hard to move away from, and the blue engulfed him. He actually gets the knockdown onto Sarah. Beautiful.
Pinipino, no? Tumotama, yari pa sila sa BTR na yung papasukan nila eh.
But yeah, Reject got completely overwhelmed by both Ryzen and Liquid, and now the nades will be coming on through to try and close the gap even further. Divine will be pushing inside.
Divine, magkakagad.
Just be one bullet and you're done, so mate.
Oh!
He's gonna be in the exact
eliminated na Blacklist!
As he's got the heal.
Ito sinasabi ko.
But Divine has yet to go for his own personal heal.
Eliminated na? Totoo ba yung nasa kalpig ko? Feeling ko pag yun na. Pag yun. Nakakat ng mga team 19 yung papasuko nila eh. Yela, Yela nakadali ata sa kanila. Wala kasi mga first hit eh. Wala kasi mga first hit Blacklist tol. Dapat in-engage na nila yung mga mid no. Ang dami pa nakuha nilang first hit doon sigurado. Mali, sira talaga play sa Sanok. Mahirap talaga mag-play sa Sanok to. Pasok yan talaga to.
Though Divine still looking for the information, maybe trying to get a little bit more intel below this building. But Liquid, he's down below. I
Liquid
see him
hindi
right there.
nakikita.
M249. And that's an easy weapon
Yan
for 1v2. That should be a really easy one, especially when they are so low HP. Just one or two
Grabe
shots
tayo.
and you are done.
Ay, gago, nakakabaril sa ilalim mo.
Liquid, opportunistic as hell. And
Ay, puto na Liquid to.
249,
Mamatay ka.
and he starts moving
Mamatay
right
ka.
into the game. Eyes on the prize, and Liquid clears out Reject and stays alive for the team.
Oh my god, that was beautiful from Liquid. So good.
Nadali po ni Liquid yun, 2 vs 1.
Deal with the blue zone.
Gagaling ng mga
That's Myth.
BTR to.
Navi, lots of time in front of them as Kitsune is going to help get that one on board. 3 kills for Navi as Kitsune is the last player standing, but he goes down at the hands of legend.
And Liquid got picked up by the blue zone, and that's going to be Yala. Man,
Namatay na. Sa blue zone namatay. Sa namatay. Hindi, bigay na din. Ganun talaga yan. Baka wala na pag-asa, bigay na. Baka matay ka na, baka maging points ka pa ng iba. So, yung putang layo ko sinang Blacklist zone.
But Yala's going to be careful. There's a few dips, ups and downs, and A1 currently have a little bit of a high ground position. But Sinister cannot even make the most out of that high ground. He gets instantly put down on his knees.
Okay lang yan, okay lang yan.
Extract himself potentially of that fight, but there's no way.
At least magandang start natin.
That hurdle of A1 Esports, and I think that we might just be looking at the undoing of the Bangladesh team of A1.
Miramar magkakaalaman. Inyo nasa nok. Basta amin na Erangel at Miramar.
This is a hard escape for them.
Don't go for the revive. You haven't got the time. 13 seconds left on the clock. As Loca's going to get knocked down. The second they made noise
Jamas,
towards A1, they
ID7.
alerted the attention of both DS and Valdez. The murder as they have
Kaya na nakadali sa Blacklist,
the
yan.
eastern side like it is their own child outside of
Kaya na nakadali
Paradise.
sa kanila eh.
Pretty good. Yaller on 8 kills. Valdez are on 4.
DRS very lucky. The fact that the circle is still on their side of the road, they
1 kill lang ata. Oo, baka dalawa. Dalawa yata yung na-knockdown nila eh. Pero ang nakita ko na tuluyan, isa, may tinuluyan si Broly, tinuluyan yung Tyra.
Third position purely by remaining on the northern side of the circle. That's all you have to do. Top 3 minimum, just stay.
Pang 14 yata Blacklist ngayon, pang 14.
Currently still trying their best to survive it.
Taas ng
That's going to be
placing.
1 play confirmed, and the second also will be fallen down as they get eliminated in 6. And now down to our top 5 on this very first Sanok game of the World Invitational. As GE's trying to move out, 1 bullet. That's all they need. Able to make it to the rock. That's the safe option, but he's not yet in the circle, Imperium.
Yeah, but I worry about the
Okay lang yan. Basta atin ang Miramar at saka Erangel. Yung mahalaga.
I can't see DRS making a
Bawa
pass
placing natin ngayon ha.
the top 3, but let's see what happens as the circle has centered up. Nobody is inside this phase 7.
That's actually a great play from Valdez. They actually just put himself a 2-2 split. Oh, sorry, 1-1 split. Gooey onto the northern side, 6 onto the south. So they got so many options. They can pick whatever position they want to play from as a one-man and just hopefully have things work out their way indeed. Though, I'm surprised. GS Gaming were not defending the south too heavily, but now they actually pull the players onto the southern side to take that fight versus Yala. That's one great nade onto Loka, and now it's only going to be Edat trying his best to go for the heal, but he's in his sight of Suporta as he takes him down, and DS Gaming get himself a total of 7 kills. The South
Yung Ryzen ng BTR tol, magaling mamboso. Magaling mamboso.
Yes, great control down on the south. Now
Ang
they
lalit
can
lang ng
focus
butos
on
sa
the north.
sinipatan
6
kanina.
is knocked down. So that does leave, unfortunately, Gooey left on his own. The former
Tikta
power
ko muna.
triple A
Wala.
player
Hindi pa nga
found his
nakaka-chicken
feet
Blacklist eh.
inside Valdez.
Naka-chicken ulit.
Let's see if he can work wonders with DRS. They could be distracting DS Gaming at the right time, which could allow Gooey to slip in on the underside, but with no cover, he
May
is
dive
going
na.
to be open
May
season
dive
for
na.
the pickings.
Yung balo, nasa top 3.
Right now, we're hunting down players of DRS. Saden trying to close that gap. I feel Ninja being knocked down actually makes it a little bit easier for the other team.
Ay, yan na, katapit na. Ay, gago, nag-heal pa.
Saden's going to be out of this game almost instantaneously. Yes,
Top
ZZP still up and ready to go, but he has to push over. And this circle
Makabal na top 1.
the road, but there's a little bit more free real estate Imperium in favor of DRS, and Nima currently has that tree in his favor.
Oh my God!
Traded back and forth. Is it going to be connecting? The nade is so close. But it's going to be exploding a little bit further away. Sports is looking
Lalamang pa DS. Huwag ka lang magi-grenade.
The Molly was right behind him, and he
Ayun
was
na.
still able to hold on.
Sumugod na, sumugod na. Ano, sumugod ng grenade, yun lang. Open ka na, baka madali ka pa. Ayun, switch ng baril, yari.
One more bullet is all you need, and he gets it done, Imperium, as we do have our very first Nepali winner chicken dinner going over to none other than DRS Gaming.
That man. Nepal OP, DRS OP, that was beautiful.
Okay lang yan.
I wasn't sure.
Babawi tayo game 3. Babawi tayo.
Down the hill
kayong magalala. Babawi tayo sa game 3.
Go for that 1-1 split, I think was a big reason why they end up winning.
Wala, minalason eh.
An angle of third partying from that side, and that only that allowed them to focus on DS. And I appreciate
wala pa lumilipad na sakay dyan. Wala pa.
Kind of aggressive DS were on that push away from the company because they knew they had to be, but then it was left in that 1v1, and despite having to rock
Just giving him a chicken.
Nima really kind of pushed him so heavily with the nade.
Pang ano yata ang
and then
Blacklist
forced
pang
him to make
14,
a
pang
move,
14.
which allowed Nima to control
May isang
the
kill
end.
yata.
It was almost a clutch.
Okay lang yan.
Coming out from the other side.
Baka bal na top 1.
There was a molly that
Feeling
was
ko baka bal.
right behind Nima. You could barely see it. There was a few little flames that I could see at the bottom of my screen. That molly would have been thrown just a little bit shorter on the throw, and that was DRS's game going out of their hands instantly. They would have been second, and that would have been going the other way.
Yeah.
Lucky enough though, Nima.
Sumugod doon ang taka ko. Sumugod siya, ano? Wala man lang siyang tinro.
Actually able to push him out of the rock and then just made it very easy.
Nagsabugan pa siya ng grenade. Nalugin na talaga siya. Open na siya. Nasabugan pa ng grenade.
The easiest going to be to connect that shot, and you're given less response time, and it worked out
talaga
great.
siya
So
dun
yeah, DRS, there we go. We were hoping to see an Apali win eventually today, and game 2 is the one where they do put the money in the bank.
Yeah, money in the bank indeed. Such a good way for them.